Hello again, everyone. Today I'd like to show you a little something about creating and using patterns. So let me start off with a new image of 800 by 600 should be fine. Although you could use a smaller image for a smaller pattern. Now I'm going to take my brush tool and just quickly draw some shapes of lines on here. It doesn't have to be anything fancy for this demonstration, just any old thing you can think of, like that. And we'll take this, and going up here to rectangle selection tool, I'm going to just select a piece of it. Maybe just this much of it. Obviously, if I selected the whole background, the whole thing would be my pattern. But I'm going to just select that piece. I'm going to go up here and say create pattern. Now you'll notice that this pops up with a category called My Patterns, which I created beforehand. Now if I say OK, it'll put that piece of pattern into the My Patterns folder. To demonstrate this, I'm going to deselect that, and I'm going to clear my background. Then I'm going to go to Flood Fill, and you'll see up here on this toolbar, if you set this to Pattern, and then click this, it's a little swatch, you can go in here, right-click, and say My Patterns, and you'll see that I have several patterns, this one being the last one I just put in. So let's just pick that one, and say OK, and we'll flood it into the background. Now that's one way to use patterns. Obviously, it depends a lot on the size of your pattern, how it's going to flood into a background. But if you would like to scale this pattern, we need to clear it out again. And this time we're going to use Flood Fill again, change it to foreground, and just fill in white, because we're going to use the layer effects. So I'm going to click this, Effect, and I'm going to put 3D effects on, but I'm going to get rid of the blur. Actually, I can just get rid of the lighting, which is better. I'm going to go to 2D pattern map, click here on the pattern, and pick the pattern that I want. I'll pick this one again, and say OK. Now, the difference is that I can scale this pattern now. We're going to get rid of the curvature first. Get rid of the curvature, and then use scale. Scale it down, like that. Or obviously scale to scale it up. We're going to go down, like this. And you can do some other things, obviously, by changing the blend mode, the opacity. You can say flip-flop, and then it will flip-flop the image back and forth. So that's just a quick look at how to play around with patterns of your own creation and patterns you may find on the internet. Okay then.